Throughout history, few civilizations have matched the brilliance and creativity of the ancient Greeks. This period marked an explosion of new ideas and techniques in nearly every area of thought. Art, philosophy, science, and mathematics are just a few examples of the subjects in which the Greeks excelled. Architecture, such as the Parthenon in Athens, which displays proportions approximate to that of the Golden Ratio, can be seen as evidence of the extraordinary intellect that the Greeks possessed. Their desire to achieve perfection in both the mind and body facilitated their quest to understand the world around them. Born of a society filled with unprecedented talent, Aristotle would rise above the rest to become one of the most influential people to ever live. Aristotle was born in 384 BCE on the Chalcidic peninsula of northern Greece. He made great advances in biology, medicine, psychology, and most notably, philosophy. At the age of 17, he left his hometown for Athens, where he would attend Plato's academy for the next 20 years. Even at a young age, his remarkable intellect shone through, which led Plato to call him the mind of the school. Plato would become both his primary teacher and his greatest influence. After studying at the academy, Aristotle became a teacher there, where he is said to have taught rhetoric and dialectic. His position at the academy became difficult towards the end of his 20 years, however, due to the unstable political climate of the time. Aristotle left the academy with fellow philosopher and scientist Xenocrates to study botany and zoology on the island of Lesbos. Once there, he married a woman named Pythias, who bore him a daughter of the same name. Not long after, in 343 BCE, he was invited by King Philip of Macedon to tutor his son, Alexander III. After King Philip was assassinated in 336 BCE, Alexander would set out to conquer the East, which he accomplished in less than 13 years. With the encouragement and guidance of Aristotle, his empire would eventually stretch from the Adriatic Sea to the Indus River, earning him the name Alexander the Great. Aristotle became estranged from Alexander later on in life, however, due to political differences, as Aristotle did not approve of the king's relationship with the Persians. Soon after Alexander died, Aristotle was forced to flee Athens due to anti-Macedonian sentiment and the accusation that he had dishonored the gods. In regards to the possibility of his execution, Aristotle said, "I will not allow the Athenians to sin twice against philosophy," referring to the trial and execution of Plato's teacher, Socrates. Aristotle died shortly after due to natural causes, and is said to have been buried with a pen and a stylus in a grave next to his wife. While Aristotle made contributions to nearly every discipline he studied, his contribution to mathematics was arguably one of the most important. Later to be dubbed the father of logic, Aristotle would shape the very way in which mathematics developed as a discipline. He published his writings on deductive reasoning and the scientific method in his work Prior Analytics. Known as Aristotelian syllogistic, which is Greek for conclusion or inference, it was the first instance in history where logic was examined from a scientific standpoint. In his work, Aristotle presents a new form of argument consisting of two premises and a conclusion. For example, all men are mortal. Socrates is a man. Therefore, Socrates is mortal. This paved the way for what is known today as transitive law, which is based off of Aristotle's law of syllogism. Transitive law states that if A implies B and B implies C, then A implies C. Aristotle's syllogistic opened the door for future mathematicians to investigate the topic of logic and deductive reasoning. Because of Aristotle's significant achievements in philosophy and metaphysics, his contributions to other disciplines are sometimes overlooked. It cannot be argued, however, that the world would be a different place had Aristotle never existed. From tutoring one of the most famous conquerors of all time, Alexander the Great, to debating philosophical issues with Plato, Aristotle's life was anything but common. His ideas were revolutionary, and he challenged the way that humans had been looking at the world for thousands of years. His discoveries have not only shaped the very world we live in today, but will continue to influence future generations for years to come.